Welcome to the second episode of the Latte with Luke podcast. Today I'm joined by Lucy Proctor from Volkswagen Financial Services. Lucy is a software developer. She's doing the software developer for digital apprenticeship. Welcome to the podcast, Lucy. How are you today? You doing well?
Yeah, doing really well. Yeah, really enjoying my apprenticeship so far.
Good to hear. And how long have you been on your apprenticeship?
I would have started on the 5th of October, so I think about 7 or 8 months now.
Oh, brilliant. And how are you finding that at the moment?
Oh yeah, it's really brilliant. I'm really enjoying the work we're doing at the moment. We're doing lots of different things, and there's always something new to work on, which I really like.
Oh, fantastic. And how was that process of getting onto your apprenticeship? How did that come about?
So what happened is when I was working on my A-levels, I sort of knew that I wanted to do an apprenticeship, and I was really just looking for the right one to come up and, something I was interested in. And I saw this one on the one I applied for on the government apprenticeship website. And I mean, there was 2 apprenticeships at the time. One was software developer and the other was web developer. And I sort of applied for the software developer one because I didn't really know much about web development. And I got they asked me to come in for an interview. It was all online. Before the actual interview, I had to do I had to record a video where I had to answer some questions. And then once I got past that stage, I was invited to a whole day interview, which I found quite fun. It was lots of group tasks. And I learned a lot about the apprenticeship. There was a big presentation at the beginning, and I learned a lot about the company and what I'd be doing on the college side of things. So it's really good.
Oh, brilliant. Did you find that quite daunting then originally when you applied for it? Because you said, did you have an awareness of software development beforehand, or was this something that you thought would be a kind of a good career to go down?
Well, it was always something I've sort of been interested in. I really like computers. I collect vintage video game consoles, and that's something I'm really interested in. I do a bit of programming before I applied. I liked making my own little games and things. And actually, a part of my job interview, I actually showed off a game that I'd developed at home as a little presentation, and they really liked that.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's fantastic. And did you ever consider any other avenues? Did you consider, for example, going to university, or was it always an apprenticeship that you thought you get that kind of earning and learning kind of option?
Yeah, so when I started my A-levels, I really wanted to go to a really good university. My A-levels were further maths, physics and chemistry. I was really determined. But when I actually looked into what university would actually be, it was really expensive, and I didn't really think I could afford it really. And then I learned about apprenticeships, and I thought, wow, that's brilliant. You get the qualification and the experience. And that's what I really liked. And I found at the end of my A-levels, I felt like I was a bit sort of done with studying in a way. But I feel like this apprenticeship is a good balance of learning and working, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, and how do you find that balance? How does that work with your working and your learning? How does that work, I guess? And what's the like I say, what's that balance? How does that look like?
So at the moment I go into work. Well, I work from home, but I go into work 4 days a week, and then one day I spend at college. At the moment, it's been a mixture of working from home, but sometimes we do go into the college building, which is quite nice.
Brilliant. And how has that kind of work environment, how has that been adapting to that? Obviously coming from, as you say, doing your A-levels, going into a work environment, how have you found that adapting to that?
Oh yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Well, sort of after I finished my A-levels, I had a year where I just had a job, just because I was waiting for the right thing to come up, really. So I was already sort of used to working, but I hated my job. So it's really nice to have a job that I really enjoy, and my team are really wonderful, and I love working with them.
Oh,
and they're really supportive, and
Oh, that's fantastic. And what kind of skills, are there any kind of skills that you've got from the apprenticeship that you weren't necessarily expecting, whether those are kind of soft skills, communicating within the team or anything like that you've gained that you weren't expecting? to have gained?
Yeah, well, I've learned a lot about working in a team, I think, because where I work, we're using the Scrum methodology. So there's lots of meetings and it's like lots of collaboration and discussion about what we're doing, which I've never really experienced before. So yeah, it's been good learning about that and what it makes to work in a good team.
Fantastic. And how does your role, what does the life of a software developer look like? How does your role look like to anyone who may not know what a software developer does?
Yeah, so I suppose lots of people think it's like lots of working on a computer, like on your own, but it's actually a lot of working in a team. I every day I like work with different people, like testers, business analysts, scrum masters, and things. So yeah, it's lots of meetings where I work, but yeah, it's really good. And yeah, we're always working on different things. Like every week, we have like user stories, which are like little tasks developers get to work on.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. And how have you found that, kind of obviously working with your colleagues? How have you found that, obviously, because you're going into the world of work, you're working with people with of a variety, I guess, of kind of experience. Have you found that kind of that knowledge share to be really kind of valuable to your learning as well, have you?
Yes, yeah, I think that's where I've been like learning the most. We do lots of paired programming, so we always like pairing up on tasks. So at the moment, I've been working with other developers, and they sort of take me through what they're doing, and I ask lots of questions, and they give explanations, and yeah, I've been learning lots that way.
Oh, fantastic. And do you think your employer has like kind of seen the value that you add by doing that apprenticeship as well? Do you think they really kind of value the contribution you make to the business, I guess?
Yeah, because they sort of see it like any work I do. It's like a bit of a bonus, really. So yeah, I like it.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And do you feel as though carrying out an apprenticeship and getting a qualification at the end, it almost kind of validates to your colleagues that you're able to do the work as well, if that makes sense? So you have a qualification in this industry now. Well, obviously once you've finished your apprenticeship, you'll have that qualification. So do you think that almost validates that you're competent and you can do the work in your field?
Yeah, I think that would like show, because I think the experience I get is good, but that qualification is sort of like sort of proves that I can do the work. So I think that's good.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And what would you say to any employer who's considering taking on an apprentice? What would you say to them? Do you think an apprenticeship's a good idea for employers?
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea because your employer is teaching you skills that they want you to have. So like I suppose if you're like from another company, you'd do things like a different way, but then they can train you how they want you to do things when they do have an apprentice.
Brill. And finally, have you got any kind of advice for any people who are considering apprenticeship or they don't know how an apprenticeship will work? What would you say to those people who are not quite sold on the apprenticeship route? What would you say to them?
I think what I'd say is, yeah, I think it's a really good idea. Yeah, I think it's good to just see what's out there because there's apprenticeships in all sorts of different things. And so, yeah, I didn't really know they did like software developer level 4 apprentices. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought that, yeah, I'd have to get like a degree or something. But yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. That's great. Well, thank you very much for joining me for the Latte of Luke podcast today, and hope to see you all soon.